Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm Sean David. Let's talk some old school basketball. Isiah Thomas is one of the most iconic players of the 1980s and definitely one of the best point guards who ever played in the NBA. But I can't help it, whenever I think of Isiah Thomas, I also have to think about his comments over the years about Michael Jordan and his really strange relationship. So in this video, we're going to take a look about how Isiah Thomas changes his mind and goes back and forth about Michael Jordan. But before we start with this video, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also click on the notifications button so you always get notified once I upload a new video. If you want to get exclusive videos and even more material, please check out my Patreon account. And I would say, without any more blah blah, let's get right into today's episode. Well, I want to start this video off by saying how Isiah Thomas and Michael Jordan's relationship started and how the legend goes. So let's have a look. Isiah Thomas was born and raised in Chicago and actually was a streetball legend back in the days. And even though he was playing college ball in Indiana, he was always hoping that he could play for his hometown once he gets to the NBA. And even in his first seasons when Isiah Thomas was playing for the Detroit Pistons, still when he played in Chicago, the fans cheered him and were really happy to see their lost son. But apparently, everything changed a little bit when Michael Jordan came and played for the Chicago Bulls. Suddenly, Chicago didn't care too much about Isiah Thomas. And this really didn't sit well with him. So legend has it that when Michael Jordan had his first All-Star game in 1985, that Isiah Thomas organized a freeze-out, which meant that Isiah talked to his teammates not to pass the ball to Michael Jordan. The thing is, I watched that game over and over again, and to be honest, I actually could see nothing suspicious, but hey, that's how the legend goes.
The alternate. Mathis will toss it up. Moses Malone and Kareem, the center. Enjoy the 35th All-Star game. Bird trapped in the corner. Knocked away. Moses. Jordan chips it in. What a play.
Roll side, George.
9-8, the East is leading. Kareem is double teamed. Try to get it inside, and here's Michael Jordan. And here comes Isiah Thomas with Irving on the wing. Jordan filling the lane. Block, and they call the foul.
The funny thing is, if you take a look at Isiah Thomas's interviews in the mid-80s and late 80s, he always said positive things about Michael Jordan, even saying that he's a great player and all this kind of things. So let's have a look.
In terms of his quickness, his strength, his jumping ability, his touch, and also his knowledge and understanding for the game. He by far, is the best I've ever seen. And Irvin's my boy, but, Air.
Yeah.
It's something else. Yeah. He real sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude, you see what he be doing?
Yeah.
And it ain't like we in high school.
Not only a nice guy, but one of the great ball players in the NBA, saying those wonderful things about you.
I think that's something you have to be proud about. If you have the respect of your peers, it goes a long way, far greater than any championship that you may win.
Especially after the Dream Team incident, where many people believe that Michael Jordan was the reason why Isiah Thomas wasn't nominated for the Dream Team. People believe that they really hated each other, and yeah, Isiah Thomas would never ever say anything nice about Michael Jordan again. At least that is what people believed.
I was excited. I was very happy. It was an electricity, a feel to it. I was in a hotel room in Memphis, and I couldn't leave from in front of the television. I had a 1 o'clock flight. The game was coming on at noon, and I couldn't leave from in front of the television. I ended up missing my flight because I just couldn't leave the television. I wanted to sit down there and get my full of Jordan.
At the NBA Finals, when the Chicago Bulls were playing against the Utah Jazz, Isiah Thomas was commenting the game, and he was actually saying some really interesting stuff.
With the rebound. Takes Hornacek off his feet, and then switches it home.
The fundamentals, the simple fundamentals, the pump fake, wait till he flies by you, goes up and sticks the shot with perfect form. Michael Jordan has all the moves, Everybody concentrates on his great moves, but look at the simple things. Just a little easy pump fake, lines it up, gets himself square, and goes up in perfect form. That's what makes him the great player. It's not the flashy things. It's the little simple things that he does. It's his fundamental base combined with his skill base that makes him the greatest player to ever play.
And you say that without hesitation.
Without hesitation.
You weren't always convinced. There was a point maybe midway through his career where you wouldn't have given him that honor, but eventually he won you over, right?
Well, when you're playing against him, you know you're not going to say that because you got to come out and compete against him. But now sitting over here in the mic and being out of the game for 3 or 4 years and watching what he's done over the last couple of years, without question, this guy's the greatest that I've ever seen play.
Even a couple of years ago, Isiah Thomas was still saying that Michael Jordan was the best player who ever played in the NBA. And it's kind of funny, even in shows like NBA Open Court or First Take and those kind of things, he always backed Michael Jordan up and said, hey, that guy is definitely the best.
Did you want him on the team?
Well, I can't speak for Michael, but no, I did not want him on the team.
I don't mind Michael Jordan saying, I didn't want Isiah to be on the Dream Team.
Are you feeling better now that it's come out, Isiah?
Well, Ernie, it's been a while. It's been on my mind, for about, 25 years right now.
Does this feel like a weight is being lifted off of you?
Well, yeah, because I finally get to talk about it and just, the whole Dream Team experience. And again, I got no problems with, the greatest player to ever play, say he don't want to play with me, or the greatest player to ever play.
And now we get to the very interesting parts. So not too long ago, Isiah Thomas was still saying that Michael Jordan was the GOAT. But then, again, it changed. Suddenly, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the best player of all time, or LeBron James. Very interesting.
Kareem is the pinnacle. There hasn't been a player in the history of our game that had, his grade school career, I don't think he lost a game. He lost 1 game in high school. He lost 1 game in college. Then he comes into the NBA and he wins, 6 championships. And, he's the leading scorer, rebounder, and everything. So that, there's Kareem, and then there's a debate, in terms of Jordan and LeBron. And on any given night, who do you like? For me, I look at, the total body of work, what LeBron James is as a basketball player. And if I had to pick one over the other, right now I'm picking LeBron James over a Michael Jordan, because Jordan would beat you scoring, but this guy beats you at everything. He rebounds, he assists, he gets everybody involved, and he's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger, and right now, he's doing his thing. In my lifetime, I've been fortunate enough to, play against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but also to see him as a collegiate player in the 60s, what he stood for, what he did, and then come into the league and dominate in the 70s and the 80s. And when you look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's body of work, there's literally 3 decades of domination in that body of work. I also had the chance to participate and observe Michael, and participate against and play against Michael Jordan, and also observe him in the 90s as he dominated, for his 6-year run. Then I'm looking at what LeBron James has done in his body of work. And, these 3 players, I've been fortunate enough to witness all 3 of them and play against 2 of them. And I say this with no disrespect to Jordan. And every time I say this, I get, well, Isiah hates Jordan, doesn't like him, so forth and so on. That has nothing to do with it. And I want to, preface this again with, I coached Jordan in his last All-Star game, and he was incredibly nice to my son. And I will never forget, and he's always been respectful to me. But what I'm witnessing and seeing in LeBron James as a complete basketball player dominating this period of time, I haven't seen anyone else do that in all league with the exception of 2 people, and that's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Russell.
Isiah, the only problem that I have with your opinion, and everybody's entitled to their opinion, is when you said that Jordan is the GOAT in 1996 and in 1997, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar retired for many years already. So you have seen the maximum of Kareem's career, and you have seen what Jordan did afterwards, and still you said that Jordan was the best. So how come 25 years later, it all changed? I don't get it. The only good thing is that we both agree on this right here.
And everybody knows I love LeBron, but I'm gonna call timeout on this one because and I'll speak definitely to LeBron, or I'll say it to his face. But you never. There's a certain thing about greatness that demands that you have humility with greatness. Now, I've never heard, even though we argue about Michael Jordan being the greatest of all time, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being the greatest of all time, LeBron James being the greatest of all time, we have those arguments in debate. I have never heard Michael Jordan say he's the greatest of all time.
All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a great time, and I hope to see you next time. Peace. I'm out.